Welcome anybody. In this video we're going to process some simulation election data and try to figure out who won our election with 3 input files. The first input file represents our voting population. We have 12 people in our voting population. They are Bill, Hillary, Joe, Nancy, Hunter, Tulsi, JFK, Eric, Elon, Melania, Ivanka, and Brad. Our second table is absentee voters. These are people that voted early using mail-in ballots. So Hillary and Nancy voted early and voted for Kamala. Our third table represents what happened on election day. And these are the people that showed up and voted on election day. And we had 14 people vote on election day. Notice that Obama showed up and voted for Kamala, but he's number 98, and Michelle is number 99, and they are not registered voters in our population. So they're not valid votes. Also notice that Nancy showed up and Hillary showed up and voted again, which kind of violates the 1 vote per person rule. So we have here is a little bit of a dilemma. We've got a problem to unmix up and find out who won the election. We have dupes and some bad data. So how are we going to do that? Well, let's start out by writing a query. We're going to select from the tables we have. And let's select from the absentee table. And let's select from the election day table. And let's run a split by vote. Okay. What that does, it gives us 3 tabs. All the records from these 2 tables will be written out in one of these 3 tabs. So Kamala got 9 records, 9 votes. Trump got 6 votes, and Brad got 1 vote. Brad voted for Brad. So it looks like, I would say, Kamala might have won the election. But we know that's not true. So let's, what we want to do is we want to pull out duplicates. Because we can see right here, Nancy's in there twice. Hillary's in there twice. And we'll deal with Obama and Michelle later. But let's take the first step. Let's get Nancy and Hillary out of there. So what I want to do is I want to do a dedupe. Let's dedupe on ID. Let's execute that. Now the dedupe follows the same rule, is that every input record must be written out to one of these 3 tabs. The uniques is 14 records. The matches is 2 records. And the suppression is none. So we'll talk about suppression in a minute, but the suppression, we didn't have any suppression data. So Hillary and Nancy got pulled out as matches, but notice that there also is a Hillary and Nancy on uniques. So that's their 1 vote per person. So we have 14 records now. Now the next step is we want to get out the Obama and Michelle records. So we want to match this this data here in the uniques tab against the voting population, and pull out the 2 people or any number of people and records that aren't in the voting population. And that is where we're going to do a suppression. So what I want to do is this is going to get a little messy, so I want to start making some indentions here. And I want to make this query to be the input data of another query. But I just am interested in just the uniques tab. And that's going to be an inner query. So now I write the outer query, which is select that. From that data, comma, and this data is going to be voters. Here's where we bring in the voters table. Now, here's how you make the voters table identify as a suppression data. I set a special property called priority to 0. That makes it suppression data. And then I want to do a dedupe on ID. How's that look? Great. So now our suppression tab has our voting population in it. Our uniques are the 2 records that did not get suppressed, which means they did not match the suppression data or were in the voting population. The matches represents all the records that were in the voting population, 12. So we have 12 rows with 12 voting population. In our data, everyone voted. And now we have the Hillary and the Nancy pulled out, and the Obama and Michelle pulled out. What's left now is to do one more selection so we can tabulate. And I want to make this entire query within a query to be another table in itself within another query. And the tab I'm interested in is the matches tab. So let's make our final outer query to be from the matches tab, and here's where we're going to do our split by vote again. Let's run that. Here's our final election results. We have 5 records for Kamala, and Trump has 6 records for Trump, and Brad has 1 record. So clearly, the winner of the election is Brad. So I wish. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching.